Hello everyone, it's Jamal Thomas. Welcome to the Progressive Soapbox. Let's have some fun. So the guy who's standing up here, let me just show him. Let's see. This guy. The guy that looks like he's about to inappropriately touch somebody's kids with that smile. I'm sorry, the smile is so creepy. It's slightly creepy. That guy is Tom Watson. Tom Watson is somewhat of a hack that roams the Twitter universe defending Democrats and attacking people who don't necessarily like what the Democratic Party has become. Now, he attacks people in the same way, and the only way at this point that Democrats can really attack people, particularly when you're coming from the left or you're challenging what it is for Democratic dogma. You're sexist and potentially racist. You're sexist and racist. Everybody is sexist and racist. Everybody, the entire world is sexist and racist if they don't vote for our candidate. If you didn't vote for Hillary Clinton, you're slightly sexist and racist. Everybody. Even women. Even blacks. Everybody. That's the Democratic argument. Everybody is sexist and racist if you don't get on board this burning bus. Now, he attacks Jimmy Dore. And he does so in an immensely dishonest and disingenuous way. And he puts it up as if it's a quote. That's the amazing part. He puts it up as if it's a quote. This guy is supposed to be a college professor. This guy's a fucking liar. He's a fucking liar. He's a hack. Let's look at the quote. Let's look at it. Rob Placone. Rob, I'm sorry, I'm destroying your name. Rob Placone, one of the guys who works for Jimmy Dore, kind of pointed out like, yeah, you're a fucking liar. You're a fucking liar. Instagram. Tom Watson. Maybe Donald Trump isn't so bad. If he's sexist and Bernie is sexist, maybe being a sexist isn't so bad. / Jimmy Dore. Notice the quotes. Tom Watson on Twitter is saying that Jimmy Dore said that specific quote. Does the college professor understand what the term quotes mean? Does he know what they mean? Like, maybe he doesn't know what they mean. Maybe he's a college professor and he doesn't know what quotes mean. I think he does. I think he's a fucking liar. Now, which one is worse? Not knowing what quotes mean, meaning not knowing that if you're putting something in quotes, it means you are attributing it to the person who you're putting in quotes. Jimmy Dore never said that. You would never find anything saying that Jimmy Dore said that. Now, Jimmy Dore, he was responding to something Jimmy Dore said. People in the tank for corporatist warmongers who just got caught lying for over a year to investigations and American voters don't like me. That's a flat fact. That's true. They don't like him because he's calling them out. Rob Placone, this quote is heavily edited, omitting important parts before and after, completely changing its meaning and its intention. Very deceptive, Tom. Rob, you're too nice of a guy. Tom is being a fucking liar. It's not being deceptive. He's lying on purpose. You're saying it too nicely. Let me put it that way. You're being too nice. He's lying. He's lying to his teeth. Now, let's give context to what's being said here. So what Jimmy Dore is talking about is that dossier that they tried to attribute to Trump. This thing of Donald Trump got peed on. Donald Trump likes to get peed on. Oh, Donald Trump likes to get peed on. You can't have a guy in the Oval Office who likes to get peed on by Russian hookers. That dossier, the pee dossier, the one who that only thing you ever remember from that dossier is Trump likes to get peed on. That one. It was paid for by Hillary Clinton and the DNC. And the entire time, they were mum. They act like they didn't know. We didn't know that we were paying for this. We didn't know that money was coming out of our pockets. They paid for this dossier. We didn't know. We didn't know. Now, either you believe that they didn't know, they were that incompetent, or they didn't know that they were spending money in this way, or they're lying. Or they're lying. I take the position that they're lying for political ends. People could be that stupid, that's true, but I assume that they're lying. I give them the benefit of the doubt that they had intention behind deceiving the American public. Democrat Tom Watson, Shatter Democrat Tom Watson, who's still holding that flag for Hillary Clinton, is still fighting that losing battle. We're fighting the losing battle. Is lying about Jimmy Dore. I can't confront the reality of what you're saying, Jimmy Dore, so I'm just going to lie about Jimmy Dore. The context to what was being said. Jimmy Dore was making reference to this thing of they call everybody sexist and racist. If you don't like our candidate, you must be sexist or you must be racist. It's one or the other. Otherwise, you would fall in love with Hillary Clinton. You fall in love with Hillary Clinton. This is fucking insanity. Brass tacks. The Democratic Party has given up the economic argument. because they've given up the economic argument in the 40s and 50s and 60s, and they hugged Wall Street, they hugged this overt militarism, this gross warmongering and killing of people abroad. They've hugged this idea of spending trillions of dollars in our military. They like these things. And because they like these things, and they also like taking money from sources that like them to like these things, you've lost the argument. The argument that Democrats used to have in 40s, 50s, 60s, etc. was economics. They were antagonistic towards Wall Street. They were antagonistic towards this thing of corporate interests, particularly intruding itself into the party. And there's a good goddamn reason for it. They were supposed to be antagonistic for it. That is the philosophical point of the party. You understand that your party was labor. You're talking about workers, the poor, the indigent. You're talking about the 99%, the overwhelming majority of the population. Those are not people with means. The majority of this country don't have $1,000 in the bank. They don't. Those aren't the people who are putting money in your pockets, though. Those aren't the people who are essentially saying, hey, go out and do this. I need you to lean this particular way. I need to have your ear when it's something that I need to do. You dropped the ball. The philosophical basis of the party was destroyed the moment that Bill Clinton took that office. You could say it was being eaten away by Jimmy Carter and some of the other presidents. Fair enough. But when Bill Clinton took office, the bottom fell out of what it meant to be an actual Democrat. That's the truth. Now, what they don't like is the fact that people like Dore call it out. He's loud about it. He makes no bones about it. He's brutal in the way that he goes at it. God bless him. Good job, Jimmy Dore. This guy's fucking lying. This guy's fucking lying. Once you give up that economic argument, what else do you have? Well, we were hugging blacks. We were hugging blacks. We were hugging darkies. Let's continue to hug the rest. Let's hug Hispanics. Let's hug gays and all of everybody else. We love multiculturalism. But we love multiculturalism because we can't have the economic argument. If we're based around identity, if you attack us, we can call you racist. If you attack us, we can call you sexist. We don't need the economic argument if we can get people to buy into this idea that either you vote Democrat or you're racist and you're sexist. He does it here. Tom Watson does it here. He does it here. Even in this, talking about Jimmy Dore. The problem is, this argument thrown at lefties sounds insane. It sounds insane. These guys are tree huggers. They're over the top in this opposite direction of they're more in line with this kind of social justice thing. So this argument doesn't make sense in regards to lefties. But it doesn't matter. He throws it anyway. He throws it anyway. They called Bernie Sanders sexist. They thought it was perfectly okay calling Bernie Sanders sexist. And the point that Jimmy Dore was making was, if you're going to use that argument on Jimmy Dore, if you're going to say that Jimmy Dore, if you're going to say that Bernie Sanders is sexist, where does your legitimacy come from for making that argument for anybody else? You're just using it as a talking point. Just to diverge from this slightly, there's something disgusting about using something that actually does exist purely for political reasons. So Harvey Weinstein corners a woman and jerks off into a plant because she rejects him. He still jerks off in front of a plant even when she rejects him and rebuffs this thing. That's sexism. That's sexism. That's you being in a position of authority and you're using that position of authority to put weight on somebody else for some kind of favors or some kind of harassment or something else. Not supporting Hillary Clinton is not sexism. I'm sorry, it's not. Using this argument against Bernie Sanders purely to try to tar the guy loses legitimacy for the argument in every other context, even in situations where it's legitimate. The people who should have been most angriest about this idea of sexism charged towards Bernie Sanders should have been women. Should have been women. Like, it's one thing for me to say, this is fucking insane, and how can I take your argument as being legit when you're going to use this against Bernie Sanders? Farthest thing couldn't be from the truth. You use it against somebody else, and I just think to myself, well, she used this argument against Bernie Sanders. Maybe she's just using this argument for political reasons. They are. That's all they got. That's all they got. We're least worse than Republicans, and if you attack us in any way, you're all racist and you're all sexist. He even does it to Jimmy Dore. That's amazing. That's amazing. I love it. I love it. That's amazing. And lies to do it. Let's show this again, because I love this. I was looking for the exact video where Jimmy Dore says this, but there's no way to actually find that specific quote. I would hope Ron Paclone, if he ever sees this, actually puts up the exact video. There's a lot of context in what Jimmy Dore was saying in the video. And editing it out to make it sound like Jimmy Dore is saying, hey, Bernie sexist and Trump sexist. Everybody's sexist. It's great. Tom Watson is a fucking liar. That's what it was boiled down to. That's the main point of the post. I should have even called the video Tom Watson is a fucking liar. So I'll leave it at that. If somebody finds a video, please post it. I don't necessarily know where that specific video is. My wife and I need to head off to a Halloween party. I hear roaming about. So after watching, it's going to be like, get out of here. We need to go. We need to go. Alright, so I'm going to leave this. Alright, guys. If you enjoy the content, feel free to share, like, and subscribe. And of course, you can always support through Patreon. If you find that video, post that video. Tom Watson is a fucking liar. I'm going to end it on that note. That's amazing. It's one thing if you disagree with somebody. Fair enough. Disagree all you want. But to edit what they're saying, they give across a deceptive thing and then put / Jimmy Dore. As if Jimmy Dore said these exact words that you yourself are making up. It's amazing. Even if it's missing the context, that's fucking amazing. What's the political discourse here? To just lie about something that somebody is saying and completely miss the fact or the point that the person is getting at. Yeah, he's a liar. He's a liar. I don't think it's a mistake because you have to edit out certain things in order to get that particular thing. So yeah, I'm saying he's a liar. He's a liar. All right, leave it at that. All right, guys. Have a good one. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday.